Hello everyone, and welcome to the.universary. This is the latest hearing in the disgraced ex-sheriff Jayme Noel case. This is not a particularly long or interesting case. It is simply about freezing assets while the case continues and the investigation continues. But I do hope you enjoy.
No. Afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Washington County. Have a seat. Thank you. All right. Cause numbers 88. Pardon me. Habit. 10 C01 2405 PL 37 and 38. Prior to coming on the record, counsel for the parties had the opportunity to have discussions in regards to at least a possible temporary agreement. Mr. Stewart, it's my understanding that you're going to outline for everyone what you believe to be the agreement between you and the state of Indiana and all other parties.
That's correct, Judge.
Would you be so kind?
Yes.
Oh, by the way, this is Lauren. She's my intern for the summer. You guys be nice to her, okay?
And Judge, this would apply universally for all the parties, but I think there'll be some testimony elicited relative to each of the individuals.
That's my understanding of how it's going to work.
So as to the specific agreement, the parties would waive any issues related to the 10-day requirement contained in Rule 65B2. The TRO would stay in effect until and unless the agreed order is filed with the court or a hearing is held, whichever is earlier. Such hearing would be deemed an emergency matter. We would stipulate to that, and the court would retain jurisdiction over any and all emergency matters, including the preliminary injunction request filed by the state. In addition, all of the parties would turn over signed and verified under oath PAQs, which I'm still unsure what the terminology is, but those would be due this Wednesday at 12 o'clock. And all of this would be reduced to written format and filed with the court. But that's my understanding.
And because we have so many lawyers here representing different parties, just for the record, can we clarify who is all here and who represents whom?
Judge, my name is Larry Wilder. I'm a lawyer from Jeffersonville, and I represent Mr. Noel.
How did I know you'd be the first to speak?
I'm the oldest here, Judge. Mr. Bowles is absent.
All right.
Zach Stewart also on behalf of Jayme Noel, Your Honor.
Sunny Chateau, Judge, on behalf of Casey Noel as well as Gracie and Josie Noel.
Your Honor, Bart McElhone on behalf of Missy Noel, Gracie Noel, and Josie Noel.
Mariel Riedel, along with Dane Kurth and Lydia Golden from the state on behalf of plaintiff.
Thank you. All right. Whoever's going to testify, please stand and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm under the penalties for perjury testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay, thank you. You may have a seat. Mr. Stewart?
You'd like us to
Or
go
Mr.
forward,
Wilder?
No, thank you, Judge.
On both cause
On
numbers.
both case numbers, yes. So, Mr. Noel, you understand that you're under oath?
Yes.
And you understand that we're here regarding two case numbers that you've been named in, right? So, Mr. Noel, you understand that you're here as a result of being named in two cases, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you heard the judge call those cases, right?
Yes, sir.
And you heard Mr. Stewart outline the agreement that has been reached among the parties contingent upon the court's acceptance, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you understood your rights as a defendant in this civil case. We explained those to you, correct?
Yes, sir.
You heard Mr. Stewart discuss timelines that we were willing to waive, right?
Yes, sir.
And also that we were willing to enter into an agreement where any and all emergency matters would be retained in the jurisdiction of Judge Medlock, correct?
Yes, sir.
And nobody made any threats, promises, or coerced you into agreeing with this in this case and these two cases, did they?
You're correct.
And it's under your own free will that you asked the court to consider accepting the agreement in both of the cases we're named in, right?
Yes, sir.
Judge, I have no further questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wilder.
Did we need anything?
Just one
Yes, please.
clarifying follow-up. Sir, do you also understand that until and unless a stipulated injunction or a hearing is held, that the temporary restraining order that is currently in place would maintain as an order?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much.
All right. Are you with us, sir?
Hello, this is Charlie Myers.
Okay, Mr. Myers, we are on record now, so you'll be able to hear what's going on.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bart, are you or Sonny gonna?
Yeah, I'll go ahead. First with Ms. Noel. Missy, you heard the agreement that Mr. Stewart recited,
Yes, sir.
and you understand we're here today because you are a respondent in a civil action filed by the state of Indiana. And also there is a temporary emergency restraining order that has been sought.
Yes, sir.
And you understand the terms of that and the agreement that we have would mean that you must abide by that as an order of this court.
Yes, sir.
And we are waiving timelines that may otherwise apply for an emergency temporary restraining order and to allow Judge Medlock to retain jurisdiction under those terms.
Yes, sir.
Nobody has forced, threatened you, or promised you something other than the fact of what we've discussed on record here today.
No.
And it is your intention to abide by this agreement and enter this agreement subject to Judge Medlock's approval.
Yes, sir.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Council approach.
Ms. Snow, you read the documents that were filed by the state of Indiana, correct?
Yes, sir.
And there were some allegations that would make a casual reader believe that you were in the process of trying to sell automobiles or other assets.
Yes, sir.
You have never listed an automobile for sale.
No, sir.
You have never contacted a seller's agent.
No, sir.
You have never talked about selling anything, correct?
Correct.
You applied for duplicate titles to know what all was in your name or the family name solely without the view of trying to secret assets from the state of Indiana. Is that true?
That's true. Yes,
Your
sir.
Honor, I hope that satisfies the inquiry.
State.
One moment, Judge. Nothing by state judge. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Satisfied.
Joseph, would you stand, please? Or actually, come up here.
I was gonna say, why don't you get her closer to a microphone?
Young lady, please state your name.
Josie Noel?
And you likewise are a respondent in this action that's filed by the state of Indiana.
Yes.
And you've read the documents filed against you.
Yes.
And you understand that you have certain rights and timelines that we've discussed.
Yes.
And you understand by entering the agreement that Mr. Stewart recited that we are waiving certain timelines and we are allowing by agreement that Judge Medlock, His Honor, can retain emergency jurisdiction over this matter.
Yes.
You understand that you cannot sell any property?
Yes.
You cannot secret any assets?
Yes.
You don't intend to do that, do you?
I do not.
And we want to cooperate with the state of Indiana going forward to try to resolve this.
Yes.
And you wish the judge to agree and enter the agreement as announced before the court.
Yes.
Nothing further for Joseph.
Just to clarify, because I don't know if it was explicitly said, you understand that the temporary TRO that is in place will remain in place until and unless a stipulated injunction is agreed upon or a hearing is held on the matter.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. I apologize for omitting that. Come on up here, Gracie. Gracie. Please state your name.
It's Gracie Noel?
And Gracie, you have been served with papers filed by the state of Indiana as well, correct?
Yes.
You've read those papers?
Yes.
And we've had an opportunity to discuss those papers. And you likewise are willing to waive timelines and hope that Judge Medlock enters the agreement as announced by Mr. Stewart. And part of that is you know that you cannot sell anything, you cannot hide anything. We have to make an adequate, honest, and forthright disclosure of estates, or pardon me, of assets and debts.
Yes.
And you also know that the court retains jurisdiction over this until we have an agreement or a hearing is reached on this matter. And no one has forced you, threatened you, or otherwise made you do something you don't want to do today. Your Honor, that'd be all my questions.
Just to clarify, I know that you mentioned that it would maintain jurisdiction, but you understand also that that temporary TRO is in place until those things come to play. Is that correct, ma'am?
Yes.
Thank you.
Gracie, did you just graduate from school?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I know it took a lot of hard work. Next.
Casey, can you state your name, please?
Casey Mill.
And Casey, you understand that you're here because you've been named as a respondent in this present civil case, correct?
Yes.
All right, and did you hear the agreement that Mr. Stewart outlined?
Yes.
All right, and is it your wish to enter that agreement today?
Yes.
And you understand that the temporary restraining order that's been discussed will remain in place?
Yes.
And you understand that you will make a disclosure of all your assets?
Yes.
And you understand that we're waiving certain things like time limits and some jurisdictional matters due to that, correct?
Yes.
All right, I believe that's it, Judge.
Just to explicitly state, you understand that the court would remain in jurisdiction of this matter as an emergency status while this preliminary injunction matter is pending.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Council approach. Is all parties satisfied with the testimony and stipulations and agreement that's been,
State as Judge Sanders.
okay,
Yes, Judge.
Yes, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
all right. Who's gonna reduce it to writing for me? And distribute it to all parties?
Plaintiff would be happy.
State will do that? Okay, very good. Is there anything else that needs to be addressed while on the record?
A hearing date. Oh, thank you.
Renee? June the 21st, Clark County at 1 p.m.
Thank you, Judge.
Unless there's anything else, we'll be off record.
We have nothing for Mr. Noel, Judge.
Nothing from Auto Owners Insurance, Your Honor. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. All right, we'll be off record at 4:06.